Hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome back once again to my F1 23 career mode journey. And I do have an announcement that this season 3 will be the last of this career mode journey, but I do look forward to doing it all again on F1 24, and I do hear from early news that there are going to be updates to the career mode. How true that is remains to be seen, but I really hope that they bring more updates to it than they have done the last few years, because it seems ever since F1 2020, especially with the My Team part, it's just been a copy and paste all over. I will release a video soon entitled Things I Want to See in F1 24, and they're just little things that I hope that get brought to the game. But for now, we're trying to qualify here at Singapore, and we only just got into Q2. Like, literally by less than the blink of an eye, we got into Q2. So I'm needing to find time from somewhere, because I am struggling around Singapore. Also, it's the first time around the new variation of Singapore. As you can see, the long straight instead of the technical section. And I'll be honest, I do prefer this new variation. So that's P5 in Q2, into Q3, then the important one, where in the top 10 are we going to be? If you didn't see the last one, by the way, I urge you to check that one out before you check this one out. This is your last chance to do so before spoilers. So it was a DNF and a horrible crash last time out in Monza, but we're now coming to Singapore, hoping to do better. We're in Q3. It's been a bit of a shaky lap so far. I'm hoping that we can find something in the final sector to bring it back, because it's just not been perfect, and I just haven't, again, like with Monza, I just haven't got to grips with the car or the setup round here, and in the end, we ended up what I think is P7, so it's the forefront of the grid. We've got a lot of work to do in this race. Let's do it, and do it well.
Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Felipe Drugovich lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Sparkles, Perez, Norris, Ocon, Magnussen, Bottas, Teo Pourchaire, Albon, Stroll, Joe, Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, De Vries, Sargent, Oscar Piastri, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. It's just about time to go to the track for the beginning of the race, but before we...
It's a 31-lap race ahead of us. We're in P7. We've got Sainz and Verstappen just ahead of us. It is lights out and away we go. Sainz does not get a very good start at all. Neither do Russell or Gasly in the Mercedes, but I've just not got anywhere to go. I'm kind of blocked in, so I'm trying to go around the outside of the first corner and gain a couple of places there. We're able to get ahead of Russell, but Gasly was able to make it into the first corner quite nicely in the top 3, and we've got the mobile obstacle of Max Verstappen just ahead of us. He's going to be very difficult to overtake, and the front 3 might disappear down the road owing to the fact that they've started the race on soft tyres. I've got a bit deep there, and I was thinking of having a look down the inside of Verstappen there, but no way through for the time being. As I don't know what that was meant to be. I feel like that was meant to be a little look to see what could be there, but I've only cost myself time and lost about a second to Verstappen ahead of me. This is going to be a long endurance fest, this race, as the Singapore Grand Prix usually is. The front 4 now starting to break away from me, and George Russell is having a bit of a look, and I'm really struggling. I don't know if it's the setup of the car that I've got wrong, but I'm really struggling to make these apexes and get the most out of the corners. So I feel like I've gone for the wrong setup here, and I should have tinkered with that a bit more. But anyway, it's the end of lap 1. Gasly is in third, Verstappen fourth, I'm in fifth. I can't see who's leading at the moment, but I suspect it is my teammate Drogovic, as George Russell is trying to go to the outside of turn one, and he's got through, but he's gone deep as I've tried to dive down the inside, and I feel like we've bullied him wide slightly. But back into P5 we go. It's lap 4 out of 31. Long race ahead yet. And with me battling Russell and Perez as hard as I am, this has allowed the front four to make a break for it. Russell looking one way, then the other. Now Russell's got the inside line. He is pretty much through. We bang wheels, and I think that's going to be a bit of my wing damage. It is a bit of my wing damage as we go down the inside here. Russell still hanging on. We're still side by side. As we go around the long left-hander, I'm just going to swing across and take that place. Russell went in tight, had to lose momentum, and that's why I came across, just to ensure that even if he had momentum, there'd be nowhere for him to go. Right, end of lap 4. And now I'm really starting to feel the effects of the damage from banging wheels with Russell. Russell trying to go around the outside, but I brake super late and hold on to the place, and we're starting to develop a bit of a train owing to the fact that now I do have a little bit of damage. So I'm hoping that at some point I can pit in and clear that up more. We've kissed the barrier again, which means more damage is now done, and I'm really not having a good time with things at the moment as we try and defend Sergio Perez, who's going around the outside, but there's literally nowhere for him to go, and Perez just having to stay back for now. But look how far ahead Gasly and Verstappen are, 10 seconds. This front wing damage is really costing me. More to the point, it's ruining the races of Perez and Russell, who are clearly faster and can clearly have got down the road, maybe even challenged Gasly and Verstappen. But that's not going to happen now, because I've played the role of mobile chicane. I'm just hoping we can carry on up to maybe lap 10, lap 11 with the front wing damage before I'll pit in around then, repair the wing, and hopefully still get a decent undercut to keep P5. Lap 8 then, and the gap has gone up another 2 seconds, and I'm just about managing the worst of the damage at this stage. But George Russell's having another go down the inside, but, well, we didn't give him much in the way of room there, and I think he had to back out of it anyway. And we've got a yellow flag dead ahead of us, and I think that's Pierre Gasly that's had a moment. It is Pierre Gasly. He is facing the barrier. He has gone round, and I think he's causing a bit of a traffic jam behind him. The red flag is out. Here's what happened then. He was chasing Leclerc, and it is Drogovic leading the way, and Gasly just having his own moment completely by himself. But as he tries to recover, he's blocked the track, and that's really not a smart recovery by Gasly there. And there we go, there's me going past, and that's, well, a lot of cars getting caught up in it, which is what has triggered the red flag. So Gasly having that moment, bringing out the red flag, so it's time to slow down. The good news for us is we get front wing repairs, and we've moved up to P4, of course, because of Gasly's spin. So we get a free pit stop with free front wing repairs, and we can go for it straight off the bat.
There's a good chance to change our strategy for the rest of the Grand Prix if we want to.
So at this point, I do consider my options, but we decide to go with the hard tyre. I was going to go with the medium, but obviously I started on the medium, and we can't go medium. So it's going to be the hard tyre to go to the end of the race. Again, I considered doing medium soft, but, well, that would go quite wrong. So now we're going to go with the hard tyre, and there is a chance of rain towards the end of the race. Right, back on the grid. What can we do from here? It's lights out and away we go again, and this time it's Drogovic not getting away. Leclerc is also not very well off the grid, and I'm between him and Verstappen, and we're going to thread through the middle and get into the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix. How about that? A race that we weren't particularly looking anywhere near top 5 worthy in, and we're now leading it. Sainz and Drogovic are trying to battle over P4, but it's me leading. It's Max Verstappen in second. It's Charles Leclerc third for Ferrari. Oh, how the tables have turned. And we've done a little switcheroo. It was me in fourth over Drugovic, but now me and Drugovic have swapped. Verstappen going for the lead. And Verstappen, taking the lead there. A little bit of contact. Verstappen round the outside. And Max Verstappen knows how to attack. He knows how to go for the lead, and he's done that. But now it's going to take everything we've got to get back past him. And he is going to have to defend. He's going to have to look lively, because he's got a JT Lotus car coming at him. And sure enough, down the inside we go. Little bit of a nudge wide. We're side by side. And round the outside we go. And retaking the lead from the Red Bull driver. Oh, that wasn't easy, but that was worth it. We are back in front of Max Verstappen. Little bit of a kiss of the barrier there. I need to be careful I don't do a full-on George Russell there. And I'm just looking at Drugovic, who is right behind Leclerc, who is just about behind Verstappen, and I'm thinking if Drugovic can get into P2 and he gets anywhere near me, I'm not going to fight him off. Meanwhile, this is Drugovic, speak of the devil, going down the inside of Charles Leclerc. Leclerc is fighting him with everything he's got, and they're side by side. Leclerc trying to defend, he does defend, but he's got hard work to do now because Drugovic is approaching the DRS. But so too is the Mercedes right behind him. I believe that's Pierre Gasly. And Gasly wants a shot of redemption in this race. Drugovic to the inside. The Mercedes driver with nowhere to go. And Leclerc goes very deep into the corner. And that allows Drugovic away round the outside. Drugovic keeping impressive momentum there. And moving up into P3. And then a lap later, he's straight on Verstappen down the inside. And we've got a 1-2 on our hands here. If Drugovic does start catching me quickly, I am not going to hold him up. We're starting to build a gap to Verstappen, so I think Verstappen has had a moment somewhere. And because we're building a massive lead, and it might just be where he's battling the likes of Gasly and Leclerc, that he's lost that time. But there goes Drugovic straight past us. He was much quicker. So I was not going to fight Felipe there. Rather, I was going to let him go, preserve the 1-2, because again, as a team, that would be a great result here at the Singapore Grand Prix. And as we get later into the race, I'm starting to struggle with my tyres a bit more. Gasly's got clear of Verstappen, and we've hit the wall and got a puncture! Unbelievable scenes here at Singapore. We have hit the barrier. And that is my front right punctured. We just hit it a bit too hard. I was struggling with the tyres anyway, but just where we didn't have the grip, I have now got a puncture. And we're going very slowly back to the pits. It's disaster here in Singapore. Right, the virtual safety car has come out. So I'm using that opportunity to pit. And I've decided, you know what, we're taking on intermediates. The virtual safety car, I assume, is out because of the debris that I left behind. But that works for me because, like I said, we needed to pit in. And as it was starting to rain, just while I had the puncture, I thought to myself, let's take a gamble because now I've got nothing to lose in P22 and stone dead last. But guess what? The rain is coming down all the heavier. And it says DRS enabled, but for how much longer? Because as we get halfway around the track is absolutely soaking. It's hammering it down here. And we are gaining ridiculous amounts of time each corner on the AI, which means that we might just get away with our little mistake. Because what's happened here is it's allowed us to go on to intermediates at exactly the crossover, meaning we gain a ridiculous amount of time, even with fixing the damage. And you can see it here. Drivers are all in the pits. We've gained quite a significant amount of time. And as a result, how far up the field are we going to be? I think that's Pierre Gasly coming out of the pits. It is Pierre Gasly coming out of the pits. We've essentially lost nothing because Gasly was the driver. We were racing for second. So we've lost literally nothing in that whole fight. I go down the inside and retake the position. We've got Oscar Piastri struggling for grip just ahead of us. I'm going to just try and go around the outside and get past him. We have got past him, although I'm going to go a little bit deep.
Brilliant, nice move.
But we're still ahead of him. And he's going to hold back Pierre Gasly for me. And wow, what a... we picked the perfect moment, albeit involuntary, to change to intermediates. That change of weather just saved my entire race there. Drugovich leads by 7 seconds. Then it's myself, and then it's Gasly 3.5 seconds behind. But whatever was wrong with my setup here, it's clearly even worse in the wet because we're really struggling in these conditions, and Gasly is going to start eating me up to catch that gap anytime soon. And within a couple of laps, he has decimated the gap. It is now just over 0.2 of a second, but I'm thinking at this stage, if I can just keep it on the road for the next couple of laps, we're still sitting pretty for P2, even if it means I develop something of a queue behind me. We're taking it as easy as we can go, and as we brake for the hairpin, Gasly hits me up the back, and that's front wing damage for him, so he has to pit. A lap later, we've now got George Russell on the attack. I've tried defending, and I've gone a little deep there. Russell now on the outside, I'm on the inside, going in very tightly, somehow keeping the position. I don't think I should have kept that position. I think I should have let Russell through there, as I did go off the circuit, but again, going hideously wide. But karma is here. I have gearbox issues, and that is my race over. With 3 laps to go, a certain P2 is gone. We're out of the race with 0 points.
Okay, Mark here, you're causing unnecessary wear to your transmission. Try to take it easy, or we're going to risk losing it.
It's never easy to make it across the finish line here in Singapore, but they've done so with some style here today to take a remarkable victory. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, I think what impresses me most is just how the drivers hold their focus and nerve with these massive rain delays and this changeable forecast. You've got to be out there on track, feeling and looking for the grip, and know when it's right to switch compounds.
The faces on our top 3 look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all. So let's review
A day to forget for myself, but it's a great day for my teammate Felipe Drugovich, who takes the victory here at Singapore, with George Russell finishing quite a bit behind. Max Verstappen gets third, and then it's Leclerc and Norris rounding out the top 5. Then we've got Bottas, Sainz, Ocon, Zhou and Perez rounding out the top 10. Great result for Zhou to get his first points of the season. But for us, well, does nothing for us in the championship. It does close things up though. And Drugovich, I don't know, is he starting to just get a little bit interested in the title fight? Is this becoming a 5-way fight between myself, Verstappen, Gasly, Russell and Drugovich? Who knows? Thank you for watching. As always, leave a like and hit subscribe for more content from me. Until the next time, I've been Joe at TTFN, and ta-ta for now. Take care.